Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Karina. This video I am going to be swatching all of my Stampin' Up! Ink pads. These are specifically just Stampin' Up! Brand. I have about 50 plus, maybe 60. Honestly, I don't even know. I have collected them over the years and I have duplicates. I have some old ones. I need to see which ones might need to be re-inked, and honestly, I don't use these because I don't know what colors I have. So I'm going to be swatching for several reasons. Obviously to see the color range that I have, see which ones are good, see which ones I have duplicates of. And I thought I would bring you along the journey as more of a relaxing video just to kind of see me swatch through my inventory. And yeah, so stay tuned and I'm going to set up so that I can start my swatch. Okay, so I picked up some supplies when I was able to shop in person a while ago. I've been wanting to do this project for some time, and what better time than being in shelter in place. So I got these little, I guess, business card holders from a store called Daiso. It's the Japanese version of a dollar store. And then I got some index cards that fit into the business card holder. So this is going to be my swatch book for all of my ink pads. And these are specifically water-based, let me see, water-based dye ink. So I use these to watercolor, just when I wanna either watercolor and do florals, or I wanna do some brush lettering with watercolor. These pads are great for watercoloring. In case you don't know how to open the ink pad, you basically fold it over and there's your ink pad. But the way I use them for watercoloring, this one is a little sticky, sorry, the first one I pick up is like kind of wonky, but is you pinch them, then you have a little dot for watercoloring. Take your brush, and you have kind of a template, or I'm sorry, a palette for watercoloring. So that's what I'm going to be doing. I will be stamping and watercoloring to see what the swatches look like. So let's get started. This is just index cards. They're not watercoloring paper, so I hope it doesn't affect the way the color will show up. I don't think it will, but this is just what I'm going to use. And right now I have nothing, so something is better than nothing. Now, before I actually swatch, I thought, you know what, let me see what I have, because I might have some duplicates of some of my colors. So let me do a quick sort and group them by like color family. Okay, you guys, so here are kind of the color families. So I have some yellows, and I have two of the same color. So I think these are gonna come up yellow. I think this is the newer version, this is the older version, but it is Daffodil Delight. So I'll swatch those and see how what color it actually comes up as. So I have two yellows, I have a handful of these smoky grays, crumb cake. So I'll see how that comes out. I got some pinks, greens, blues, oranges, some reds, some hot pinks, browns, and then some really dark purples. Bermuda Bay, I guess I'll put that with more of a blue. So, all right, now that I see what color families I have, I'm gonna push these back, without anything falling over. Let's see, I'm just trying to make sure I can get in frame so you can see me swatching. Okay. So again, this is just gonna be my swatch book. I'm gonna set this off to the side. I have my color here. I got my watercolor brush. This is a size 3. It's a Princeton Art. And Brush Co. It's a round brush. So you can see that a little bit better. It's a really nice brush to do some lettering in if you are a watercolor letterer. Well, I don't know if that's gonna focus. Anyway, it's a smaller, thinner, round tip brush. Let me grab some napkins. And by napkins, I mean paper towel. Okay, and let's get started. I, again, have been wanting to do this for a couple of years. So as far as my swatch, these are Stampin' Up stamps called Flower Patch. And I'm either going to use, I think this one might be too big, but I want a solid image so I really get a good idea of what the color looks like. I think I'm going to use this flower right here. So let me pull that out. And this is going to give me a nice solid color. There we go. Put them back in. And I am using a Stampin' Up block. This is a size D, which is kind of a mid size, and that's going to fit nicely right there. So let's start with our yellows, since I only have one color, but I have two. So let's see the, I guess, the integrity. That one's looking kind of busted. Let me squeeze it so I can get some watercoloring going. Let's see. And then what I'm going to do is going to use my brother's P-Touch label maker. And I'm just going to make a very small font of the color. So this is Daffodil Delight. So this is a newer one. It hasn't even been opened. It's still in its wrap. And I might leave it, might just leave it like that. I don't know if I want to open them until I really need to. This is actually, looks pretty good. I thought that it would not give me such a clear stamp. The foam, or I'm sorry, yeah, the foam pad, it is looking a little raised. Looks like it's a little aged, but the color still looks good. So let me make a label. We'll go from there. You guys, I just printed this. Why do I have the biggest sized washi tape, or I'm sorry, label tape? 1 second, let me get my smaller tape. Okay, can you guys leave me a comment and relate to projects that every time you sit down to do a project, you never start because there's so many other things you have to do before you get the project started? Tell me you can relate. Okay, let's try that again. Much better, much better. Okay, I like that size. This is on the smallest size of the label maker. And gotta say, I like it. Let me get some scissors. Okay, this might seem like a lot of work, but I promise you, if you have a supply of something, pens, markers, inks, whatever it is, you've got to swatch. You've got to swatch, else you won't use them. You won't know what you have. You could buy duplicate of stuff because you think you have a color that you actually don't. It could lay down very differently. This is pretty accurate though. I gotta say that color is pretty spot on. Okay, so I got the yellows, and then what I'm gonna do is after I swatch, I have just some Kirkland brand baby wipes, and I'm just gonna clean out my lid, my tray. You don't have to, a lot of people don't. And close her up. And yeah, I'm really happy with the way that came out. Okay, so these are the same. I'm gonna put them away. And when I say put them away, I store all of my inks in my scrap box, acrylic box that came with my scrap box. I owe you guys a video of a walkthrough for my scrap box, so hopefully I can get that filmed soon. But that's where I hold them. I just hold them like that. They just sit in here. And again, I can't see all the colors, so when I do want to watercolor or I want to paint or whatever reason I want to stamp, I want to use them, I don't know what colors I have. So this is something I've been wanting to do for a very long time. So this is where I store them, and I'll show you once they're all back in their case what it looks like. But let's move on. So I got the yellow. Yay, love it. Okay, Sorry guys, I've had a lot of coffee. I've had 2 cups of coffee, and I'm just gonna be honest. My husband just made me an iced coffee. Oh, he makes the best iced coffee. So good. So I'm going in, man. It's Friday. I'm just gonna go in. I don't even care. All right, crumb cake and 2 smoky slates. I have 1 still in the package. Let's see what smoky slate looks like first off. By the way, if you're not familiar with Stampin' Up, my sister-in-law used to work for them, and she introduced me to the brand. They are great. They make great brush pens. They make a whole variety of colors for their stamp pads, and they have a very unique casing. So like all of us, we probably are used to just the stamps that you just take the lid off. Stampin' Up has this really cool design for their stamp pads. As you can see, there's an indentation that gives you a really nice grip. You push up and you flip down. The newer ones, I think like these, you just flick up. But the older ones, you kind of have to do this weird little concoction of you push up, then around, and then you snap it in. And then it has these little grooves to pull the tray back out. And there's several reasons I like these. Number one, they stack nicely. They really do have a nice stackable design. And their felt pad, and I'm not trying to do a review, sorry, it's just kind of organically going into that, but I'm just telling you why I like these pads. They are raised up so that when you do stamp something, if you have a really large stamp, you don't get lines on the side. You can get a nice clean stamped image. So that's one of the cool designs, is they have that raised pad. So anyway, so let's get back to swatching, because that's what this video is about. Let me clean off that Bermuda yellow here. Okay, I think that gives me a good enough idea of the color. Well, I have 2, so it's just the color it is, I guess. I'm wondering if I should dry the lid before I shut them. Okay, so I have 2 of these smoky slates, so let me make a label. This one is called a crumb cake, and I don't know what color family I would put this in. Neutral. So Stampin' Up, their colors, they have like categories, the brand, like they have brights, they have neutrals, they have a pastel, but they don't call it pastel. I forgot what they're calling it. It's, you know, just kind of like a lighter to the brights. And then they have regals, the regal colors, jewel toned. And then I want to dry it. There we go. Just drying it off. Okay, so crumb cake. I guess I could look on their website and it could tell me. All right, this is a crumb cake. So I'm gonna do the oranges next and see which ones I have duplicates of, swatch them, see how the pads look. And I'm just gonna kind of speed through this process. So I hope you can just sit back and relax and watch me play with some watercolor. Got the orange swatch. I think I'm going to do my reds. Maybe the reds and the pinks, because they kind of intermix with each other. So I'm gonna do this color family. Let me start with the reds first. Okay, now I'm on to the purples. Looks like I have a Rich Razzle, Blackberry Bliss, and 2 Wisteria Wonders. So I'll see if both of these are in good shape. They probably are, man. These pads they last a really long time. So let me swatch my purple family next. Okay, things are falling. Razzle or Rich Razzle can go ahead and take a hike. Out of all my pads here, the purple one has to go crazy on me. So I think what happened is the lid came off, which has never happened to me before using these, but it can happen. So I am having a hard time getting the lid back on because I don't know which direction to place this on. So we're gonna move on, but I just wanna show you craft time. We're gonna set Rich Razzle to the side and he's just gonna sit there kind of happy and alone by himself. Think about what he did. Okay, so that's a really pretty color. Let me get the label put on. Okay, you guys, I'm just checking in and it got a little crazy. One of the ink pads, I had to wash my hands, I had to wipe down everything. I got ink everywhere, but that is the fun of it. So anyway, we will continue on with this swatching. I am dedicated to finishing. So let's go into the browns. So I have 2 early espressos and 1 soft suede. Let me make my labels and we will continue on with the swatching. Okay guys, we're almost done. I only have the pinks and the greens, but or actually say blues, not greens. I just did the greens, blues, and here's my pinks. So let me sort and see what I might have duplicates of. Okay, you guys, we are almost there. I am left with sort of turquoise colors and the blues, and I'm going to start by separating what I have duplicates of, and yeah, we're almost done. So I'm gonna start by separating and making some labels. All right, you guys, I am on my last color to swatch, and this was a lot of work. The most work being just cleaning the stamp in between, because you really want a genuine color. You don't want it to be mixed with any other color. And what I'm doing off camera that you actually can't see is I'm using my Stampin' Up scrub pad, and the dry side, I'm just kind of using it to make sure that that stamp gets really dry so that the water doesn't go into the ink pad and then ruin the color. Anyway, just thought I'd slow it down a little bit and kind of show you the last color in real time. I'm so happy to be getting this done. This is, like I said, it was very time consuming. It's a lot of work, but again, I don't use my stamping pads because I honestly don't know what colors I have, and I just don't want to go through and swatch them and take it all out. So having a swatch of all of my Stampin' Up inks is really going to motivate me to use them more, to know what I have, see which pads were in good shape. And for the most part, it has been a couple years since I've touched any of these pads, and they hold up. They really hold up. The color, the pad itself really held up really well. So anyway, let me just wipe this down. And that is my last color, Coastal Cabana. So that is the last time I need my stamp, so make sure I get it really clean. Let me put my label on it. Water streak, but real time the color. Super pretty. The best part is just working with color. I mean, so much fun just to see the rainbow of colors that I have. So I'll put this away. And now, let some of these dry, and I will be right back, and let's get them into my swatch book. So here's the swatch book that I want to use, and I am going to just kind of grab these swatches here. I think they're pretty dry. So now the next question is, how do I put them into my book? So I think I'll start with the pinks and put them in what order I think they should go in, not necessarily the order of the shop, but the order I want to put them in. So greens will be with greens, blues with blues, reds with reds, pinks with pinks. So let me go ahead and start separating these out now. You guys, I love it. I'm so happy to have finally finished my swatching. Let me show you. Dash. Here is one. Here is the other. And this is just how I keep them. As you can see, little side view, they are stacked pretty high to the brim. But these are all of my Stampin' Up stamp pads, watercolor ink. And here is my complete swatch book. So now when I need a color, I can simply go in, quickly browse, see what color I needed. Like I said, it was a lot of work, but so worth it. Now I can see all my colors vibrantly laid down, not only as a stamp, but as a watercolor. And this isn't even watercolor paper. I just used dollar store index cards to make this. It worked good enough. As you can see, it kind of was a little splotchy. Again, this paper isn't meant to absorb like a watercolor paper would, but like I said, it did the job so that I can see in general the color families that I have. And it was just a really good exercise to go through, take a inspection on all the ink pads, and I love it. It came out so great. So I hope you enjoyed the process. If you have any questions, any comments, please don't hesitate to leave them down below. And until we see you again, I hope you guys are well, and we will talk soon. Bye.